Yo, 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 148, 3 to the 6 to the 9. What up,
Fuck
bitch?
is wrong with you? All right, welcome everyone to
Representing the SPNatI. What up, bitch? Leave it the tone.
I actually really like this. I really like gangster rap spnanon because I can only imagine like the whitest bald dude imaginable, like pretending that he's very urban. But anyway, welcome everyone to this episode of The Inventory. Today we'll be discussing some of the characters that have been long neglected on the testing tables from our, obviously critical, unbiased, and perfect views. And also talking about the Valentine's event, which has just passed. As you can tell, much like the chalky hearts you get in your stocking. Do you get a stocking for Valentine's Day? I don't know, but it's a little stale, it's a little late, but that doesn't mean the intent is as bad.
Well, if you're lucky, you get some stockings.
Just don't get pink stocking. Yeah, don't pink sock people. All right. So
I don't know what that is.
it's anal prolapsing. So starting this off with a horrific image. I am your co-host, nmasp.
This why Napsy doesn't come on.
Yeah, pretty much.
That would make sense.
She also has like really bad anxiety about like people on the internet hearing her voice. She does like a lot. So anyway, I'll talk about that at the end of the cast.
Let's do a voice changer. Make her like Darth Vader.
God,
that would sound good.
Just do like the Sayano Uta filter, so everything just sounds like gargled and like Shoggothi, and I'll translate. That'd be a good April Fool's episode. Anyway, I'm your co-host nmasp. I made a bunch of characters for the game. My most recent addition was Adrien. I am a mod sometimes, and I'm sort of sunsetting myself out of the game development. So this could be you someday. Just impress spnanon, who is our main host.
Oh, by the way, sorry for this being like the first episode we've recorded in like 2 fucking months. It was supposed to keep to like our normal schedule, and then I was like the day of, I was like, hey, I have shit I have to do, and then we scheduled it like 2 weeks later, and then the mask was like, hey, I have a job.
I'm so tired.
That's relatable.
So that also delayed things quite a bit. But here we are, finally recording.
I want COVID to be over. Wear a fucking mask so I can have a life again. Anyway.
Fucking right.
So anyway.
It's too late. The damage is done.
Yeah, you see Louisville fucking sucks with that shit.
It's like
we're far past that point.
It's like shit or get off the pot. Finish up dying so the rest of us can resume normalcy, or like put on the fucking mask. Like honestly, I don't care. Pick one. Do it. So, and also our lovely guest for today is Effie Freak. Why don't you introduce yourself, talk about your SPNatI accomplishments. We'll jump into what we're working on in the game, and then we'll go to our topics for today.
Hey, I'm Effie Freak, Iron Freak, whatever you fucking want to call me. I've worked on Panty Anarchy, and I just released Amy Rose on the testing tables, and currently working on a Lucina update for the art, and working on a secret other project right now. So that's what I've done, and planning on doing, hopefully. So
nice. All right. So the agenda for this, what is this, episode 48 of the podcast? Now,
something.
We picked just the busiest 2 months to do absolutely fucking nothing for this cast. So we got a bit of a lightning round. No bonus questions at the end.
We've been saving this load for a while. Let's just release this torrential 2 months of
unreleased podcast.
So many characters.
Made a glopping noise.
Load endlessly into YouTube. All right.
Solitaire he's probably like forgotten how to edit.
Just gonna release this pure, longer, and uncut as it ought to be.
Yeah, so this is gonna be all content. This is gonna be like a bit of a lightning round. There's Valentine skins we can briefly talk about. Valentine's event has just ended. We got lots of new characters on testing these last 2 months. Game's definitely been busy, and from a lot of new creators too, which is good to see. And there's also the rework of Masquerade, but we're going to save that for next time because that's a whole other like 10 characters. So that definitely deserves its own episode.
So trying to give people time to finish up more progress so we don't bitch about your things while they're still being worked on. You're welcome.
That's
Anyway,
true. Look at it that way. So yeah, they'll be like much more beautiful, and they won't have like their shitty old models. By the
we can
time we talk
compare
about
like how far. Yeah, we can compare how far you've come, and not just like the fact that this character's getting a rework. People are mad it
Yeah.
wasn't Ochako.
So we don't have to be like, well, they say this character will be better at some point.
Some of them have gotten better already, but anyway, let's jump into the Valentine skins. I actually want to start with Twisted Fate Tango, because Twisted Fate is League of Legends character I fucking hate. I hate that game. I hate that character within the game. And SPNatI is way better. You did a really good job with him. I'm also just like want to say I am incredibly impressed that someone put in the effort to get a skin onto a character who was just on testing table that was not like a classic skin from the character, first incarnation, right? So I think the Tango Twisted Fate's actually phenomenal. Like, well done. There's a little bit more dialogue there,
this fucking
but
guy barged his way onto the main roster with his dick out just by putting on a dapper suit.
I mean, hey,
And goddamn, he looks hot with it.
Thank you. I wasn't gonna say it. I'm glad someone did. That's great.
I'm here to speak my mind.
Good. That's pretty awesome. I'm well done with Twisted Fate Tango. Moving on to some of the other characters that have gotten updates. Nagisa's update is like the updated Valentine's costume is very, very cute. And as usual, it is Horse Killer doing a phenomenal job with, his artwork. She retains her very cute personality that Andres has written. Otherwise, I just like what's been done with the character. I think the Maid outfit's very, very cute, which is the intention.
Yeah, it's not technically a new costume, but it's an updated version of the costume with her new model.
I'm just gonna come out and say it. Like, if anyone was like, "Oh, why aren't you making like updated epilogues or updated costumes?" I will just tell you to fuck right off. So the fact that someone bothered to do this is just like impressive to me. Like, I am so lazy. This is amazing. Good job.
I just made Phone Box update Maya's Cupid outfit. It's like, hey, you
Oh,
made
God.
it in the first place. You need to update it.
I feel bad for Phone Box. I'm always just like, hey, give me this Adrien. All right, see you in like 2 years. And when he finally hits the main game, I feel so bad. Phone Box is a saint. What a hero.
He's
Any
based,
thoughts?
plain and simple.
Yeah, he's based. Yeah. Phone Box is based. Based Phone Box. Instead of the lonely Phone Box, he should be the based Phone Box.
He's helped me a lot with Amy, getting her better.
Nurse Spooky and Love Bunny Emi. Nurse Spooky is just modification on like the first 2 phases, right? Like, it's just a hat and the dress is different, but it replaces the dress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like this. I really like the variety that it's like, even though it's going from a knife to a hat, it keeps the same weight. I think that was really clever. I also think Spooky's cute, so I think like this was nice.
Spooky throws me off, and I think I had some of my characters comment on this, because when I think sexy nurse, I think Halloween, which I guess is appropriate when she's a ghost.
Yeah.
I just think she looks really good in it and everything. I think it's a very simple design for a very pretty simple character. I think it's cute for her.
Yeah, it's a cute costume.
I think it's cute.
And then going for the sultry, the seductive, we have
Love Bunny
Emi, who's
Emi.
on like her fucking like 3rd, 4th alt skin.
Emi is one of my favorite characters, so I'm always happy when she gets a skin, which is like true.
She ain't got no legs, but she's got a million alt skins.
What must a man give for alt skins? So I think like the big issue I ran into with these characters, I guess, is that I really wish there was more unique dialogue. I think Emi and
That's
Spooky
true.
have some that pertains to their outfits.
Actually, I didn't see any for Emi.
It is there, like it's there under the conditionals. I think. Was I high when I was playing her? I mean, like that. I don't know if I was. I don't remember.
That is your former field.
Yeah. Once upon a time.
Yeah, like I made like a whole separate set of generics for Cupid Maya, and I still every so often I have to like go back and like, oh, this line play, it's talking about her armor or whatever, and she doesn't have that, and I need to fix that.
Yeah, I guess that. Yeah, I think like I don't know. At least for the stripping order, those things are nice. or like have a couple of other generics just to make it. I think Nagisa does because she's like, oh, I get to be a little hortier today, but I don't think that's true for the others. It's good to see new costumes. I think so. Something that's like really important to note is this is just a designer tip because this is why you watch this for the ancient lore of SPNatI. Is you tend to get like at least a 70 to like 200% bump in play stats when you release an epilogue or a costume. Like I think with Fate went from being like a male on the testing table characters, which as you can imagine is not super often played, to being like incredibly hyped. So if you're working on a character, consider making an alt skin. I know I'm never going to do this because again I'm lazy, but I do recommend engaging with the holiday contest. They can really help people play your character and enjoy the content you've worked so hard to get into.
It can be a lot of work to tailor all the dialogue to an alt skin, but it's definitely fun. And all these Valentine's costumes are pretty appealing and on point with the theme. To go alongside the others that were already in the game, like the May is Cupid and Festival Ayala and Dahlia Hawthorne with her little parasol.
Yeah. So that kind of, again, with the theme of the lightning round, we're working our way down the list. Let's get into some of the new characters we have missed from the last time we were on. So starting at the top.
Well, let's start off with a character that 2 months ago in episode 47 we said, hey, we'll just get to her next time. It'll be real quick when she's still fresh.
Her next time. Oh God, poor Scat. You don't deserve this. I'm so sorry. She's very I like her. So Effie Freak, what?
Ringo Andou, Ringo Starr, from famously of the Beatles,
from Puyo Puyo, which is like a connector game.
If you've ever played Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine,
it's just dead as that, yeah.
The perennial classic. It's exactly like that. That's actually what I know it from because I had like fucking Sonic Mega Collection on PS2.
Yeah,
so
same here.
That's what I know. But it's it's like Tetris except that the blocks have eyes.
But hey, now Sonic's in Puyo Puyo Tetris too, so.
Is he?
Oh no!
Yeah, he just got added recently.
No, we're not doing a Sonic chat. No, go away.
You realize Amy Rose is on the agenda here.
Yeah, I know, but like I'm trying to like keep the beast at bay until we get there, and then I can be like, look, we got through 90% of the episode. I can leave. It's fine. Anyway, so Ringo Andou.
I feel like I've run out of things to say on Sonic.
Whenever Maki gets an update, you find a new one, though. You just unearth those Chaos Emeralds using Knuckles' dig technique. Fuck, now I'm doing it too. God damn it. Effie Freak, why don't you go ahead and lead us in these conversations, and then SPNanon and I will follow up as you are the guest. So let's talk about Ringo.
Here she is. She's got an apple. She's cute. Go ahead.
With Ringo, whenever I first saw her added, it took me by surprise because I never knew she was added, but she's a super fun character to play against. I usually been adding her to a lot of the testing table roster because I just like seeing everything she has to have to offer, and her nice little animations with her little battle quotes. I think that's a very nice touch to her. And really nothing I really back can say about her, or really anything I add to her right now. Everything with her, the little cute Puyo Puyo bra she has, I think that's a really cute addition to her. And everything about her, I think it's just really top notch. Just keep up the really good work and more targets as usual. So,
yeah, I think she's really cute. Kind of a lower line count, but I really like that. I think this is one of Horsecat's first characters that's not a Equestria girl. But I think this has been done really well. I think she's like phenomenally cute. She's a little skinny, which is like a weird thing coming from me, but. She's very petite and very thin, but I think she's extremely cute. I like the way her personality is portrayed. I think the art is really great. And just to call something out, like when she's finished, she actually moves her legs around quite a bit, which is like her post-finished poses, which I think are always really interesting to see because it looks a lot more natural than just like knees up, ass back kind of stuff. So,
I got you.
Oh yeah, the big thing I want to see from her is just more dialogue, to be honest. Like, and I think part of the problem is like I am not in a position to just like bukkake Horsecat's characters with targeted lines lately, but I would definitely like she is on my list of people to target once I have free time in my life again.
You know what? That's actually a pretty motivating mental image now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you just, this is a porn game after all. So if you need to motivate yourself to like target this character, just imagine like their open mouth,
oh God,
awaiting your targeting load.
yeah, like Moon. Like Moon. That character you love spnanon.
No, Moon's different. Moon like takes it from you.
Is it? Is it so different?
It's ejaculation rape.
Oh,
Wow.
I did not consent to my seed against her esophagus.
Well. Anyway, so what do you think about Ringo?
What do I think about Ringo? I mean, the worst beetle, clearly. But
Oh my God.
still on with this. Okay.
let's see. When she first dropped and I saw Horsecat made a new character, I was like, all right, cool. What pony is this? I was pleasantly surprised to see that it was just like a girl. Okay, I don't think she's like she's not the main girl of Puyo.
I think
Puyo,
she
right?
is. I've played the story mode a bit in the first Tetris one, Puyo Puyo Tetris. She's pretty much a main girl, if I recall correctly.
Oh, is she?
I think so, yeah. If I recall, yeah, I can look it up real quick.
Yeah, it looks like she's the main character.
I don't know. It's on the level of knowledge for me as like Toho. Just like everyone's a girl, and they all kind of like do the same basic. They all communicate either in these Puyo games instead of bullet hell.
Let's see.
Anyway, Horsecat's what you might call like an actual artist. So, which kind of lets him get away with her sort of odd proportions compared to the other characters. Like she has a very, very thin waist and a very small chest. And like her hips are much bigger in comparison. But it totally works. And I think it makes her like stand out and look really unique. I like it. Even the way like her sweater kind of bunches up around her hips.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, it just sells you on it right away.
I would say like also his custom brawl he added to her is like a really nice touch for her.
Should post that. Oh yeah, I see. That's pretty funny.
You haven't.
Yeah, the Puyos.
Mm-hmm.
So it is Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine because they look exactly the same as those.
I'm pretty sure Mean Bean Machine was originally based off Puyo Puyo when it came to Western
I know.
release.
I know.
Oh.
That was a joke.
Sometimes it's told me to catch on.
It was a crossover. I don't know. I played that in the Mega Collection when I was like 8. I was just like, this is boring. Why can't I jump and kill robots?
You can. You just like hate spike your TV through the wall, and then you're done.
I wasn't much for puzzle games.
It's very difficult, and I hate it, but I love it.
Yeah, I've seen videos where they really ramp up the intensity.
All you gotta do is hate spike your TV through the wall. That's how you beat a puzzle game, is just by not playing.
Like it seems like the AI just cheats by the end.
Well, yeah, I mean they kind of have to, right? Like they just have to throw bullshit at you because by the end it's like, yeah, we know you know how to play, but
I mean they expect you to throw these 10 combos out that you can easily do.
So the solution is to hate spike your TV.
Yeah, you just gotta hate spike your TV through the wall.
Vent your anger and destroy the TV.
Speaking of hate spiking things and things that hate spikes, let's talk about Bowsette.
Wait, I feel like I haven't said everything.
Okay, what do you guys say? Is
I should give some sort of criticism.
Yeah.
Boy, she's got small tits. Although it kind of works because of how small her chest is. I want to say like she in the forfeit stage, right? Oh, she's got really nice like custom stripping art, by the way, with like her clothes hanging off of her. I'm gonna post a good pose of that. That's the main benefit of custom art is the custom stripping poses. See, look at that shit. Solid hair. I mean, she doesn't have a lot of tit to censor, but go ahead and do it. Just look at that. Look at those panties hanging off the ankle. That is some stripper quality stuff. It's like I'm right there. She's on the stage. Anyway, she masturbates like on her knees, which is going to become a recurring complaint of mine. But I don't know. I really don't agree with that. I understand why. Like, I actually no, I really don't understand why some characters do that.
Or the floor could be. The floor is of questionable. I don't know.
Have you ever been to like church or something? Like that'll kill your knees. I don't associate that with pleasure at all.
I've never jerked off on my knees. No, so I can't really relate.
Being on your knees is fucking awful. And not only that, but you can't really see anything. You know, like I can't see the goods. Like I used to have Revy on her knees, but I was just like, I can't see shit. This sucks. You know, get those legs up. That's my take anyway. I mean, I know, you know, it kind of adds some visual variety compared to the other characters, but I don't think that's worth not being able to see anything.
I don't think it's that big of a deal personally, but I get where you're coming from.
What do you know?
I know a lot of things. I have proximal knowledge of many subjects.
What do you know, you fucking normie?
I don't know, man. I've gone so far off the deep end at this point.
Fuck.
I'm a criminal, yo.
God damn it, Spinanon's like split personality, Spinanizzle from the block. So Bowsette, Effie Freak, take us away to this secret place where crowns can make Bowsette a woman.
Overall, she's very cute. That's all I'll say.
Very, very. It was Phonebox who did art for her, correct?
Yes.
I was talking about Ringo, but Bowsette's also cute.
Oh. But yeah, Phonebox did an amazing job with her art. I'm really glad his design was chosen for the final design. The dialogue can be a little inconsistent at times, but I mean, it's understandable with
a little bit
with how many people are writing her, which is a lot.
Can we introduce the idea here? Is that Bowsette is the herald of a crowdsourcing dialogue technology. So way back in the early days of SPNatI, characters were actually written like by a shared Titan pad, just anonymous contributors, and anyone can add a couple lines. And as you might imagine, they were all terrible because you don't really see the New York Times bestseller list full of books that were crowdsourced.
And Bowsette has reached. I mean, I enjoy her every now and then on Taylor. It's just like the dialogue just everywhere, and it's a
unique idea. I'm glad that we're trying it.
Yeah, same here.
I actually really like that. I think it's really funny. Like,
it definitely is funny. It adds like quite a bit of humor to her. She just switches personality halfway through.
You're just like, what the fuck is going on? I don't know. I think the writing on the whole is like actually remarkably cohesive in its incohesiveness. The art is obviously very good, but like
because one person did it.
Yeah, but like,
imagine if like every pose was like by a different person.
Oh god. Oh god.
Crowdsource poses.
Every pose is a different model.
Man.
Anyway, I think we basically chose Bowsette because she was just like a porn character anyway, and she doesn't have a personality to ruin exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's really no.
Yeah, it would have been bad if we got an actual character for this.
Oh god, imagine like crowdsourced 2B.
Well,
trying to like make something cohesive.
I think there's like a lot of like lines in here that are like actually remarkably good. It's like the monkeys and typewriters. Eventually, one of them's gonna write like the complete works of Shakespeare.
I don't think that's monkeys and typewriters. I think that's just like an actual contributor probably wrote a line in there somewhere.
It's one incredibly gifted monkey with one incredibly inaccurate typewriter. I actually like. I don't have like anything negative to say, just because it's really funny. Like there's like this is like chaos mode. This is sort of like what you just pick when you're like, yeah, you know what, we'll find out. Fuck around, and then we found out.
How is sponsorship even going to work for her now that I think about that?
I don't know.
Huh.
You're privy to the mod's infinite wisdom, so you tell us.
What? No, I have no idea. I actually have no clue. I haven't been following the development of this character at all. I guess Phonebox has
This is the kind of quality commentary you come to the SPNatI podcast for.
Has to actually sponsor her, because Phonebox is the only consistent person, unless like someone's just like, you know what, fuck it, it's gonna be me, and then they take it over. But this is This is actually really interesting. I actually think that, like, as far as the project goes, like, it's turned out remarkably better than it was expected to. So that's nice. I think Clonebox's art does a lot of work, but this is just fascinating. It's like, I don't know.
Right now, Bowsette is still in the stages of like, let's just accept everything, and then we'll edit it down later, and you can totally tell.
Yeah, I think like right now it's just got to throw things at the wall, see what sticks. And I think
don't know who's in charge of all this editing.
I don't, is it Cobrad? Is it Cobrad? Is it Viz? Is it Phonebox? Who knows?
It's just a confusing mess.
But it's like, it's somehow like, again, like, I think the most impressive thing is the art's really good, and it's somehow not terrible. Like, it's not like, this is not a character that I'm going to pick for like my jollies, right? But it's just fascinating to see what people do when they're like given free reign, because it could be worse. It could be worse, which is not the worst.
It's a social experiment to like move us away from democracy.
I love democracy.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
Oh man. All right, so Susie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's.
What is left to say about Bowsette, except that Bowsette's a gift to the community. Go play her. Find out. Well, it's like fuck around and find out, except it's not fucking around. It's just finding out. It's pure find out.
She's as messy as I was expecting, but I feel like one of the reasons that like so few of the lines have any cohesion is that you still need like some kind of basic premise, just like laying the ground rules, and you can see people like not agreeing on like what her situation is. Like some people are writing from the perspective of like she literally just put on the crown for the first time and like still remembers being Bowser. And then there are other people that are just like full on Bowsette is just like her own character, and she's not worried about like shit or like having to pick Bowser Jr. up from his fucking soccer practice. And like, she does remember being Bowser, but like she's been wearing the crown for a while, and it's like, why is she? You have like all these different approaches, and we need to like at least pick one of those before we'll ever have anything resembling a cohesive character.
I think you asked for too much, and we should just enjoy what's given. Like, we should enjoy the gift that we're given.
Let the chaos reign.
I guess I'm expecting something to actually. I'm expecting this to actually have any merit at some point, which is maybe foolish.
I'm sure it will. When it is, I don't know, but it's interesting.
I think it's to the point where it will require so much editing that the editor is basically just the writer.
Not the worst thing.
And he's just like this is just like my Patreon character. Like, yeah, just you do it, and then I'll get around to it at some point.
The idea, like I every time someone like has like Patreon in the context of SPNatI, I just like get a chill down my spine in like the worst possible way, because I'm like, that we just can never ever let that happen. It's not good.
It'd probably be the death knell.
Oh, God, but yeah. Anyway, so
just can't wait for Project Melody to stream Natty.
Please never
wake up to 10,000 new
oh no
members in the server.
I appreciate Project Melody because I don't understand, like, it's like the logical extension, right? Like, someone was going to do that at some point. May as well be the first. And it's like, okay, you know what you're doing. Go get him. Go get him, champ.
I gotta be honest. Ever since streaming really took off like a decade ago, I've never really understood it. I guess it's just to like hang out, but like, God, that's so much of my day just eaten up by nothing.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I can never stay for long. I may stay for a live stream like for maybe 30 minutes. I just leave. I just get too bored of it.
Like I just want to wait. Like anything good that happens is just gonna get clipped anyway, and I can just watch that.
Just wait for the YouTube upload.
Like, I think what can be good about streaming is like if you're trying to like watch like a player that's really good at a video game, so you can like watch how they do it. But I don't know. Sometimes it's funny, and sometimes people are just simps. Simps exist. What can you do about it?
You know, it's like VTubers. You know, it's like it's funny to watch like a 15-second clip of one like saying the N word, but like I wouldn't want to sit there for 3 hours waiting for it to happen.
Yeah.
Clips of VTuber. Well, it's like Kizuna Ai like perfected this, right? Because it's like it's literally all just the clips. It's not like something that's super live streamed. I think that used to be the case.
I mean,
But-
don't all VTubers just live stream now?
I remember Kizuna Ai.
Yes, I do too.
That makes you a boomer now to remember Kizuna Ai. That's where
Kizuna
we
Ai
are.
was like, wait, really? I'm like the boomerest boomer.
Pretty much.
Anyway. Oh fuck.
She's already like the OG VTuber, and she's gone now.
Yeah, that whole thing is like, oh man, like don't get
I didn't know she was gone.
don't get Napsu started on it. It's just not a conversation that's entertaining. I've heard this fucking story like 12 dozen times. I don't want to. I'm tired of talking about it. Anyway, so Susie, back to our lightning thunder round.
Susie from Dead by Daylight. Meg, the classic Meg, finally has a franchise mate.
So Susie, I love her. I don't know the source at all. I never played Dead by Daylight like a second in my life, but she's a super fucking cute character. I love the way she looks and the way she wears the sweater as it looks like it's just a sweater. Perfect. I love it. And the dialogue is very charming. I really enjoy like seeing her talk and everything. The only thing I have really complaint with is that I get confused on like who she's really talking to with the voices in her head. I guess I'm not familiar with the source. So I know it's probably a source thing, but I just get confused on that just a bit. But that's just from somebody not knowing the source. Other than that, I mean, I really have no complaints with her. She's a super cute character to play against. I love everything about her.
That's a fair criticism if you can't figure out what she's talking about without having played the source.
Yeah, like all this like Frank would have told me. I'm like,
Who's Frank?
who's Frank? Is he in your head? Is he an actual person? Is this the void you're talking about? Like, I don't know. I don't know the names. I just use Frank as example. So
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at, where it's like I don't really understand the lore, but I actually think that like Susie is really well written. I think like the stutter is it weirds me out, but I understand that it's like a very interesting dialogue tick. So I think Blue Jay did just a really, really good job with Susie. I'm gonna go ahead and just like get this out of the way though. It's like I think she looks better with her clothes on.
Oh, really?
So
Ouch, baby.
yeah. I think like
That's not a compliment in a strip game.
Well, not this. Just like I'm not really attracted to the body type or like the piercings, but I do think that like I think the outfit is really, really cool. It's also like she does look really cool with her outfit, and
Yeah,
I think
I'd put her a notch above Meg here.
Well, oh yeah, I mean like yeah, like no shit. Like I think like her like starting art is some of the best in the game. Like easy, it's so good.
The mask is really fucking good.
Yeah, I think like the character as a whole is just really, really strong. It's just not necessarily what I'm looking for, but that's okay. Like I think the rest, like I think she's really good. I think she does something that nobody else in the game does, and that she's like a shy murder waifu, which is weird, but I really like what she brings to the game, and the fact that she's like she passes the spnanon test of like not trying to just straight up, murk everyone in the game, but there's definitely something like off with her. Right.
I appreciate that she's not constantly talking about murdering everyone.
Yes.
Although that does lead me to ask why she starts off with a knife and a weird Jason mask. Like that's the kind of thing where, as a character, it's just impossible to ignore.
Yeah.
The fact that she's so weird and apologetic, just like I had to take a different approach than usual and just be like, why is this girl running around with a kitchen knife?
What kind of kitchen knife has like a serrated back end?
Maybe I didn't say that exactly, but it's
yeah.
It's just like they didn't believe that she was like a murder person.
I think that makes sense.
I don't know. It's weird. I don't know what her deal is exactly. Like why is she dressed like that?
All right, Blue Jay. Feedback is clarify Susie just a little better, or like
clarify the murder.
Or awkwardly just pretend like it's not a big deal.
Is she a crazed murderer or not?
Yeah, I can't tell if she's like actually like crazy murderer or not, which is probably for the best.
She seems to drop the whole thing pretty quick.
Yeah.
Like if she's just here to to like bump butts and shit. Like what's with the knife and the mask?
I don't know. She could be at the same table as like Ayano or whoever.
Yeah, just those two have a knife fight. No, there should be like a basement knife fight table with like
Yeah,
Susie and Chara and Jason.
yeah. Actually, like Spooky, Chara, Susie, and Ayano could be like the basement knife fight table. Actually, that actually sounds really cool. I want to see them all
really
knife
good
fight.
preset table idea.
Oh man, I really like that. I'm there for it. Anyway, knife wipes.
Anyway, I know nmasp. Anything above 100 pounds is just not in his wheelhouse. For me, like I don't know, she's not fat enough for it to like ruin it. She does have a pretty nice butt pose, which I'm now going to retroactively complain about Ringo and Bowsette not having butt poses. What's the deal with that? Bowsette has this absolutely fucking just enormous rack, and there's no butt pose. Like, where is that? I guess everyone would just write lines for the butt pose and nothing else. Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, all
I
right.
want to see those Koopa shells. Also, please, God, don't write lines calling them Koopa shells.
I can actually go add one right now. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
I see that shit all the time. It's like, oh, let me see your mushroom player. And it's like,
That's just so weird.
That's straight out of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. It's not sexy.
You gotta say, let me jump on your mushroom or something. I don't know.
I don't want to hear that with my dick in my hand. I'm sorry.
I also appreciate that Susie has dyed hair. Like that's actually really really funny. Like because
Oh, it
Is
is?
it dyed? I thought it was just anime hair.
no, it's dyed. It's dyed. Take a look at like her without her clothes on.
Huh.
I thought you told me not to do that because you didn't like her body type.
I mean, I didn't tell you not to. I think like fat girls need love too, but it's. I don't think she's fat. I think she's just curvy.
They have love handles.
I don't think she's fat. I think she's curvy, and I'm not trying to be like insulting. It's just not for me.
She's got pierced nipples. That kind of ruins it for me.
I think they're kind of cute.
Because like the kid doesn't need that much iron intake.
Susie's. Oh Jesus Christ! I think Susie's cool. Well done.
Oh yeah, Ringo needs a butt pose too. I guess she'd have an equally. Actually, no, she's got pretty nice hips. So she got the pear shape going on. Ironically, even though she has an apple. So are we ready to move on? Anyway,
I think
Susie's
we're good to
good.
go. Yeah, Susie's great.
I wish I could figure out how
What's
murdery
going
she is.
on? Yeah, I think like it would be nice to see more of her. She's like really like she's interesting. I think she's a very very strong start. I know she hasn't been on like revolutionary new developments so far, but I do think she's very cool. I think she's off to an excellent start. I can see her being very very popular with like I mean this in like the nicest possible way, but I think like in 1,000 lines she's going to be just like a phenomenally good character.
Yeah, I like where she is.
Like in the sense that like I think there's like I think like you can mine 1,000 lines and target interactions and stuff, and that'll just like skyrocket her to the top. She's really good.
And I'll be excited for it. She's super cute, and I love the design of her, so I'll be excited for it nonetheless.
All right. So moving on here, we got our first ever Fire Emblem character, which I'm excited about. I mean, we haven't even had like a character from Three Houses before, so this is a hot new deal. We got Leonie from Fire Emblem. She's like a tomboy, I think. She's got short hair.
Yeah.
She's training over some old dude.
Yeah.
Looks up mainly to him. Yeah. I think she's a really fun character, and plus she was part of the Golden Deer House, so major points to her. I love Golden Deer, and the posing was done by HK, so it's good. I mean, I really love the posing on her. The suit, the way he made her clothes in general look really fucking good. And like it looks really accurate to the source and such. And the dialogue is also like really good. I really enjoyed reading the dialogue. I enjoyed everything really about her. Like I got nothing else really to say. I mean, just it's good to me. I said Leonie is like I think one of my third favorites in Three Houses. So
As someone who's like not super familiar with her source, I get what she's about. I think the model's cute. I think she has this interesting rivalry mechanic, which is pretty cool. But I also there's not really a lot new here that's exciting for me. But I don't think she's like I'm not saying that she's bad or disinteresting, but I would just like to see where this character goes a little more, just because as someone who's not familiar with the source, I'm not really understanding what makes her unique or special other than that she's like a tomboy, but we already kind of have those, you know?
Are you saying you don't want more tomboys?
Oh, I'm not saying that. I just want them to be like a little different, you know? Like we have like an infinite schoolgirl works, but at least like when a new one hits the tables, they're usually, you know, somewhat distinct. And
Well, she's like a medieval tomboy.
yeah, but like I think there's like some cool stuff going on here in her dialogue with like how she targets fighters and uses this rivalry. But I don't know. Maybe it's just like not the personality I'm terribly interested in. But I think it'll be interesting to see where she goes. I guess I think I'm just interested to see what changes with her more so than where she is now. She's fine. Like I think I don't have a clear direction of like you need to do this to improve her, which is sort of the problem, but I'm interested in seeing what happens to her.
Yeah, I want to see where she goes from here. I definitely don't think she's quite fully realized, but I want to see where she takes all those ideas. The medieval tomboy, the way she kind of looks up to her mentor. I think she might be getting like a time skip alt skin, kind of like Bernie.
Yeah, she is.
Which I'm all for. You know, you can tell she's getting a lot of good content. Horse Killer is she's like a machine, man.
Yeah, Horse Killer is like cute waifu machine.
Get that German work ethic.
Yeah,
This girl's fucking crazy how much he puts out. Like seriously.
yeah, dude. Horse Killer is like, yeah. This is also someone's first character, so my account as a Nord is definitely new at this. So understand that like we're not being critical of like, oh, this character is like not good or anything. We just it's definitely a very strong first showing. Like I think that's also worth mentioning is like this is someone's first character, so it's not like, oh man, how dare you not be perfect on the first crack. It's just more like I think this is a really strong start, and it's going to be interesting to see where she goes.
Very, yeah. I'm excited to see where she goes. I'm excited for her to hit the main tables and get her ults and everything.
I want to see her. I'm excited to see her continue to develop. So next up we have. Let me get her picture here. We have
Aoba. Or Aoba. I don't know. Aoba.
I do not know how to pronounce that because I do not know her source.
This bitch has no consonants in her name.
I have no idea what her source
Aoba.
is at all. Like I
Aoba.
never heard of it.
I think it's called what is it? New Game or something like that.
New game? Yeah, no, I never heard of that one. And she's one of the characters I sadly.
She's like a game developer.
Oh.
Aoba. It's Aoba.
She's one of the characters I sadly couldn't get to test before this, so I just had to get a quick skim through because work sucks.
I know.
But from what I saw with her model so far, it looks pretty decent. I did look up her source art. There's a few things I would suggest maybe changing a bit. I think the eyes can be a little bit more accurate, and her ribbon could probably be a custom input instead of the default Kisuke one. But other than that, I mean, the model does look pretty good compared to it. So I said just a few things like the eyes and maybe the hair a bit and her ribbon, I think could all be changed a bit. I think she'll be looking pretty good once you fix those. I can't really give feedback dialogue-wise because I said sadly wasn't able to get to her. But model-wise, I think if you fix this, I think she could definitely be looking a lot better.
She's already had like an improvement to her model. She looked a lot more like defaulty before. This is a lot better.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's cool. That's good to know.
Her face looks more unique now, and she's got like better proportions.
That's good. Okay.
I think the person working on her is like making like really proactive efforts to improve her, which is nice. I do think, from my perspective, just definitely need more dialogue. I think some of the facial expressions are very cute, but I kind of have trouble figuring out what her personality is. Is she just like an office lady? Is she kind of like tsundere? Is she a little shy? I think like that might need a little bit more characterization work.
Yeah, apparently she's supposed to be like really petite, so I don't know if you want to like play that into her sexuality at all.
I mean, I think that part comes across very obviously. So yeah.
I have a complaint that goes for a lot of characters here. I think Bowsette's guilty of it too.
She's masturbating on her knees.
No, not just that. I mean, so, actually, she's sitting
not.
down for
She's not. Yeah.
most of it. But see her masturbation poses. I'm gonna post one, and Solitaire, you can do whatever with this that you want.
Oh, they hide the goods. They hide the goods, isn't it?
Well, it's that's a problem too. I guess there's a lot of problems. But if you look here, right? Let me Solitaire, just go ahead and zoom in so it's just like nothing but a sensor bar. She is bone dry. Where is the juice? Where is the love? Where is the juice? Where is the fluid? This girl needs some lubrication. She is going in raw dog with her fingers. That can't feel good. You gotta have some fluid going in those forfeit poses. Come on, this is non-negotiable.
I also think that like she does. I also think she does this thing where she like references people from her source medium a little better, like a little much in the handlines, or maybe I just got a bad streak. But I don't know. I think she's like an okay start. Like I think just like do more before we can really make a good judgment on her. But
yeah, I feel like I could make stronger comments on her, like in the eventual sponsorship, because right now she just feels like she's still in the early stages, of like dialogue.
Yeah. I think like there's something like pick an angle and kind of like lean into it, whether it's like she doesn't really have an angle, I think, and that is probably not true for her character.
You want to be able to summarize the character in like one sentence.
Yeah.
And right now it's like, well, she's a game developer, but what's kind of going on with that?
Like why? Like what is her personality and why is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're ready to move on to aside from Tango Fate, I guess this is our first male character of the cast. I remember last episode started off with like 3 of them.
Oh yeah.
just an ocean of dick.
Yeah.
Here we have from Brawl Stars, who I'm convinced like Rotom is just part of like the marketing team.
I mean, it's clearly fucking working.
I mean, he got me into it, so
at this point, because he's just gotten like a bunch of people from the server to start playing it, and I'm assuming paying money. Anyway, we got the gunslinger himself, Colt, the peacemaker.
I think the model Colt has is really good. I like the model a lot. And the dialogue he did have, it seemed to be pretty decent, what I can tell so far from the little bit I played at Brawl Star. I haven't got Colt unlocked yet, so I don't really know him too well in the game. But my dialogue in the game seemed to be all right. The model's all right. I think there could be a few changes definitely made. I think the torso is a bit weird looking. I think too short maybe. I can't really tell. And some poses I think I kind of have a problem with is like cowardly and flattered. They look really often weird to me. I can post those in here real quick. But his cowardly and flattered poses just seem super off to me. I think those can be maybe tweaked and changed a bit. So let me get them real quick.
I think his I think his personality is really good. I think the art is very distinct, but I do think that it could be made more, attractive. Get someone who's attracted to dudes to like tweak it a little bit, but the style's good. The stylization's strong. I think the characterization's good. Obviously, this doesn't do a whole lot for me. I think for me, I'm just expecting it to be like, oh, this is gonna be Twisted Fate or like McCree, and it's like it's just not. And I think I have the burden of expectations. Anyway, good job, Rotom. He's very distinct.
He reminds me of Brock
from Pokemon.
No, from Breaking Bad.
Not Brock from Brawl Stars.
Because, well, I mean, obviously same franchise, same creator. Like very faithful to the source art style, which I'm not really sure is a good thing, because that's Brawl Stars is not trying to be sexy. It's just trying to be like easily readable at phone size.
I just want cartoons for perverts. Yeah,
I guess that's how you would summarize Rule 34. But
yeah, exactly.
Like this in Kisuke, I don't know. He looks strange next to the others, in sort of a way that does not improve his attractiveness. So I don't know. He seems pretty obstinate in terms of like keeping to the source art style, which I guess if you wanted to, but it's that, and I don't know, he's sort of got the same, I want to say like the same tone as Brock, where he's a little, he's kind of goofy and sort of self-important, or kind of self-obsessed, and not particularly sexual. I feel like in a strange way we have ended up actually fulfilling Dranky Krang's request that a bunch of male creators that aren't into guys make male characters.
The welfare males. Sorry. Oh yeah, Effie Freak. This predates you by a bit, but in my previous in the previous cycle, when I was still Dranky Krang, I'm not being allowed to transform into my next state for everyone's fear of what it may become. But when I was Dranky Krang, Dranky Krang made this comment of, basically like to balance out the roster, a bunch of dudes should go make male characters.
Yeah, like there weren't enough of them, so like the predominantly male creator base should make male characters, even if they weren't into them.
He wasn't like wrong from the sense of like this is something that there could be more of, but he very much was in the expectations and execution.
Every time I hear more about Drinky Kong, it's something new.
Yeah, so because of that, we got such joys as Captain Falcon and Gay Spaghetti Chef, which is just I'm sure you got to go ask Zeus and the other members of the gay community just how fucking enamoring
amazing they are. Oh. I say every time I hear about Drinky Kong, it's something new and it just blows me away. And honestly, I don't know if I'm like surprised by this point. So it's just, whew.
And now we have like,
I love the mythology.
I guess I'm not 100% sure on their sexualities, but I feel like Jim and like Brock and Colt and like Fate, these are all like male characters.
Adrien.
Made by male creators that aren't really into dudes.
I think like the fact that Phonebox is like into dudes is what saved the artwork for Adrien, because he's just like a thirsty boy. But I think Adrien, not Phonebox. Phonebox is very tasteful. But yeah, I don't know. I tried with Adrien to make him compelling for the player base, and I hope I did a good job.
It's just weird to me.
I like them.
Yeah, well, we'll get there.
I think the hazard there is that it's like, hey, there's this male character that I really like, so I'm going to try to capture them, but you don't really, because you're not into dudes, you don't really want to engage with the sexual elements, so they kind of run out of things to say by the end.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe you feel like too much of a pervert when you can actually physically have the character talk to all the girls.
I don't know. I didn't have that problem, but this is just who I am as a person, I guess.
I don't think I would either. But
yeah, but you're not going to make a male character, so it's kind of. I
don't want to stare at a dick and balls for hours on end.
Yeah, fair enough. Speaking of dick and balls, well, I guess like first Amy Rose, then we'll talk about dick and balls again.
Speaking of dick and balls, echidna penises.
What? Oh no. Okay, so Amy Rose, Effie Freak.
Oh yeah.
You what do you think of Amy?
Worst character. I never heard of her before in my life.
So why did you update Amy Rose, and why? What about this character made?
Oh, by the way, there was an original Amy Rose. Can't forget.
Yes.
Let me just go ahead and post that.
Screams and Hedgehog is one of the best lines ever to go into SPNatI.
From like 2016.
Amazing.
Look at that hairpiece. That is like clearly just a hairpiece.
Yeah.
Stapled to her forehead.
The reason I wanted to update her, like I think I started her like almost a year ago now.
Reminder that there are at least like a dozen people that would prefer the old one here.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, I've been to Full Chain plenty of times. I've seen it.
And call that the SPNatI art style.
The reason I wanted to update her was mainly because I grew up with Sonic the Hedgehog, so I kind of like grew natural affinity level all the characters.
Me too.
What? That's crazy, bro. But just growing up with it, and just I like Amy Rose a lot as a kid. And when I first found SPNatI, I think Amy was one of my first characters I played against. That was a first character. And after I made my first actual character in SPNatI, which was Pansy, I kind of was like in the loop trying to find my next character, and then I realized I can do an art rework update. And remembered Amy had some old art. I'm like, oh, what did her old art look like? I can't remember. Found out, I'm like, I can do better. And her first version looked better, but did not look as good. But I think I got to her point where I think she's way better than I think she is. And with Sonami's help writing her, my God, she's so much better than what she could have been if I wrote her, because Sonami is a god at writing her, unlike me, I suck at writing. So, like major thanks to him for that. But that's the reason I really want to update her, honestly.
Well, that works. I like the update. I think she's cute. She's not my favorite Amy in the game, but she is very cute. I really like.
She wasn't deliberately designed to appeal to every fetish you have.
I know it's so it's cruel in its complexity, but yeah, I think I really like the personality. I think like the fact that she doesn't come across as like too obsessed with Sonic is a good thing. But yeah, yep. I like her so far. I don't really have a lot of feedback. I think like the heart shape piece is just really funny because Amy also has that, but it's also like I am not quite like she doesn't really justify that at all, which is probably fine. But I think she's good. I just want to see more dialogue and see where she goes with it. I also think like the fact that like her like hammer pops out every now and then in some poses is very, very concerning because I'm like, where did that come from? How did that get there? Why is it here now?
Hammer space, it's fine.
That's how it is in the game.
It's fine.
She just pulls it out of the hammer space.
Oh, I wouldn't know. So
it's just like Ramona. It's fine.
Weren't you working on Ramona too? Do you like have a thing for girls with hammers? Is it like
I don't know what my thing is, but Ramona's my dream character right now. But I have a model plan for her.
nmasp, have you considered playing Sonic the Hedgehog?
No. Next
you,
question.
You really should. I mean,
no.
It'll be over quick.
Oh,
I
God.
suggest it. It's really good. It's really fun.
I played
the fan
Sonic
base is the best part.
I played Sonic Adventure 2 on the GameCube, and I also played Shadow the Hedgehog. That's about the extent, and the second one killed my enthusiasm for playing for future Sonic games. And
Shadow the Hedgehog is a guilty pleasure of mine.
Same here. I think it's a really fun game.
I don't think
it's not fun in like where all the shit is that you need to find. Oh, I loved it. I would do it again.
Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't just doing that. I was like listening to podcasts and shit. It was just I'll do a run or whatever.
Probably. I don't know. I don't care. Anyway, yeah, I like where Amy is. I definitely think that she has a clear personality. I think like the romance angle with her is really an interesting one, and I think you could stand to lean into. I think it's really interesting that she's on the table at the same time as like, like for lack of a better phrase, the knife wives, because I think you can take a look at like how Amy's version of love is very like romantic and whatever, and then Ayano and Susie are just knife wives. So I think there's something to that. I think like my suggestion for you and just in general,
Amy is totally a stalker.
Is she? I don't know these things, but like
that's her character. That's what makes her fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
is that like Sonic is like this super cool superhero type who's like too cool for school, and is just like it's like I want to settle down, and then she is like a crazy obsessed fangirl.
Yeah,
that like follows him around and tries to force him to marry her.
It's kind of hot.
So we decided to not exactly go with that and went a few years ahead. So.
Well, I think I think Amy Rose and like Ayano could have some very weird conversations that are only in SPNatI.
I think we're actually working on some targets between them right now with Sonami. I think they are.
Oh, got it.
Well, in my experts informed Sonic opinion, let me start off by saying Blaze is best girl.
Blaze is just Maya's persona.
Yes. Well, why do you think she's best girl?
Okay.
Let me go ahead and.
There are a Marinette and Adrien like XP in the Sonic comics.
I know you talked about that on a previous episode. Anyway, I'm gonna post Blaze here. Solitaire, feel free to post your own Blazes. Just over this entire discussion, but God, she's so fucking good. And the reason she's good is because she's fast, like Sonic.
I would like to see a Kisuke model of her, like what Rouge's and Amy's model looks like. I would like to see one.
Yeah, you got Amy on testing, you got Rouge in the works, but no Blaze.
You know what? You know what you can do? SPNanon, to like break new ground. Just make a Blaze skin for Maya. That's all you got to do.
I'm not doing that.
Well, just
if someone wants to do that for me, By
You
all
don't gotta
means.
write. You don't gotta write any lines. You open her up to a new fan base. You're good. You're
Just
good.
post blazing character ideas. I'm sure somebody will pick it up.
Yeah, probably.
God, she's so fucking good.
Jesus
Anyway,
Christ.
well, let me mention. I mean, it's like if Mayo were 3 feet tall.
Imagine.
Imagine.
Actually, don't imagine. That's like way too weird.
Okay, so let me. Okay, it's been like 10 minutes. Let me actually comment on Amy, the character in SPNatI here.
Would you a halfling? Would you?
Okay, Epi Freak. Let me just start off by saying, I think her hair needs to flip around,
Okay.
like when she tilts her head.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Kind of like how the hair needs to move separately inside of the head.
It's like the thing that Maya does.
I'll look at some of it. And I'll look at what you mean. If anything, I can just DM you to and ask. So. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I see that. I can manage that. I can probably manage that in a
Because
feature update.
if you look at like what Amy's hair is supposed to be, it's basically like her bangs are sticking out in front, like forward facing, and the visual shorthand for that usually is like she turns her head one way, they go that way, and then she turns her head the other way.
That is a good idea.
They go the other way. So basically, I just have like 2 models for Maya whose hair is similar. You know, one where it's pointing one way, and one where it's pointing the other way, and all the hair pieces are just mirrored.
I'm probably going to do that. That's a really good idea, honestly. So I got a few updates. I still got to do the Amy's pose and like add a few different poses like butts, bending pose, skirt pose, and everything. And to not make her bone dry, as you stated earlier, because I forgot to do that. Now that I think about that.
Yes. So now I don't have to comment on that since you're already aware.
Yeah, you know, as soon as you said that, I'm like, shit, I forgot with Amy. So yeah, no, I'm plenty aware now.
Right, we all make mistakes. Some of us more than others.
You know what they say. Some of us, anyway, some of us have to live with our mistakes. But
I think this is because you just say fuck it at some point.
Yeah,
that's your approach.
Yeah, pretty much. When I get tired, I'm like the Stephen King of I am like the Stephen King of like producing SPNatI content. I just produce shit tons of material, then I don't finish it. Well, I like release it, but it's like the endings are weak. Oh.
Anyway, as for the actual design, I mean, this is just like an original humanized design that you came up with, right?
Yeah, it's really cute.
I think it's good.
Yeah, I took some inspiration from some fan art, but the face and everything, the hair, yeah.
It kind of reminds me, and maybe it's just the bandana, but I'm expecting like athletic tape. I don't know. It looks like Boom Amy. That's what it makes me think of.
Fuck, I'll make an alt-in.
No, don't make Boom Amy.
What is Boom?
Sonic, have you ever seen like around like 2014, there were like just people were making fun of like redesigns for the Sonic cast that like Knuckles was like super roided out and they all had athletic tape for some reason.
Seen this. Is this the one that like that Knuckles is like, what? I'm a feminist? Is that like what that
Yes,
that's him.
Oh my god, that's actually amazing. I found that to be so funny.
Yeah, it was out of nowhere. The show is hilarious.
He's got like the bandana. You know, that's what it reminds me of. And they're like all really lanky for some reason. I mean, Sonic's gone through a lot of redesigns, but it's just, I don't know. Sonic Boom was just like a bizarre fucking thing that happened. It was like, it came out in 2014, and then they made the shitty game that everyone made fun of. And then it's just like, okay, I guess we'll go now.
Yeah, it came and went. I think of a full 5-year time period, and then it was just gone, and now it's not coming back.
Less than that. It was like 3 years. As soon as Sonic Forces came out, it was just just forget about it.
It was there. It's part of Sonic's history now. Can't take it back.
The show was canceled. It was just a thing that happened, and then it left.
Sonic's
and now
great.
It's been like fucking radio silent for, well, I guess they had the movie.
Yeah.
Which was, like, God. Which I didn't go see. But
we have the IDW comics, and I like the IDW comics that's going on right now.
I don't know. My main criticism with the Sonic franchise at the moment is, where the fuck is Blaze? Why is she not in every game?
Sonic Rush 3 fucking win.
I mean, there was Sonic Colors DS, which I hear is basically a Rush game.
Oh, really? I haven't played that one, actually.
But it doesn't have Blaze, so fuck it. I do think it's a good humanized design that you made for her. I mean, if it was personally me, I just go balls to the wall and say, here is on model Amy. Take it or leave it.
I couldn't do that to myself.
You're gonna if you want to masturbate to this character, you got to go all the way, pussy.
I would hate myself even more if I made an on-model version of Amy. Fuck that.
Pussy. This is like the Sonic Rule 34 equivalent of like when pornos say stepsister.
Oh God.
You know, like they don't have the balls to go all the way.
What are you doing, step bro?
Stepdad.
What are you doing, step bro? Anyway.
I mean, I don't think it's bad. It's just, I don't know. You know, I've been watching Breaking Bad recently, and I just have to, you couldn't tell by the intro. And I just have to say, you know, what's with the half measure?
Why is it baking bread? Why is the whole show called
Breaking Bald?
Why is it called Baking Bread? I don't get it.
No half measures.
No half measures.
Anyway, as for the dialogue, God, it's taken me 10 minutes to say fucking anything. As for the dialogue, I think it's a good start. I definitely saw some lines in there that I really liked. I feel like this is a referendum on my advice because Son Amy has asked me for a lot of advice and feedback on her writing. So I'm not alone. Okay, Solitaire, make sure you edit this in. No, that's bitching about Ruka. We'll talk about that. Anyway,
I just wanted to litmus test that one first.
Amy's dialogue, I saw a lot of like, and this is just something that all new writers do, but a lot of just like kind of talking about the game, very, very obvious things she was saying. I think a lot of her personality is sort of captured. I think he's got like a good start there in terms of like tone. I just think like the things she's actually talking about are not that interesting. There's a lot of lines like, oh, well, after this, I'll only have X and X left. It's like, yeah, I know. You know, yeah, or like you have a big lead. I know. Please go one step further here. Like there were lines like, you know, Rouge took me shopping once and we did this and that. Like that's good. You need more lines like that. Like they had a marker on them to not repeat, but every line should be like that. That's why, like, that's your solution to it not repeating, is to have every line be as good as those. And less lines of like, you know, your clothing means that I'll be ahead now. Like nobody cares. Don't talk about that. Talk about Sonic. Talk about living in Sonic's world and she goes grocery shopping and shit and the fucking egg carrier flies overhead. You know, I think I agree that I'm glad that she doesn't talk about Sonic too much because it would be weird and kind of NTR-y the entire time, but I think you could sort of leverage her tendencies to get a little obsessed and to like have really like stalker-ish tendencies. Like that's the thing, like what makes Amy fun as a character is that she's really not a typical love interest. She's not really all that kind and sweet. She knows what she knows. She's after that ass and she's going to get it. And she's not above like strong arming her friends and like going along with her shit. Like she, you know, like in fucking, I look into like Sonic Battle as a really good example of that. If you've ever played that,
I love that game.
Where
I love that game.
She like assumes that the robot friend that you have is like Sonic practicing for having a baby with her.
Yep.
And she like takes it under her wing and makes it call her mom.
Yep.
And she like trains in boxer size with like fucking weights on her arms and like beats the shit out of Cream to her best friend in order to like prepare herself.
What?
I love Sonic Battle.
What?
I love Sonic Battle.
What are you?
I promise it's a good game.
The fuck?
Sonic Battle has some fucking great dialogue. God, I wish Blaze was in
Holy
it.
shit.
What?
See, this is the problem with Blaze, is that she was like invented in like 2005, so she didn't have a chance to appear in like any good games besides Rush.
You're probably so confused right now.
You can milk a ton of shit out of just like how crazy she is in Sonic Battle. Like,
Hey, what the fuck are?
She reads like tarot cards to like find where Sonic is. She's totally nuts.
Holy shit! That's amazing.
That's why she's great, is because like she's not like a typical like demure like lovey-dovey love interest.
I actually would like Amy
She's
a
like,
lot.
I'm gonna fucking stalk you.
This is like one of the reasons I really like Marinette, actually. So I would actually really love to see more of this, and like they can both be fucking crazy together. Of just like, what kind of crazy shit did you do to stalk your boyfriend? Oh well, let me tell you.
Oh, I got some good pose ideas for this too now.
Oh man, I'm actually like, I'm really feeling it now. Like we got to do this. This is gonna happen. Just like Amy Marinette.
I'm gonna make
like,
some special poses and for like one-off sentences like that.
just stalking the shit out of Adrien and Sonic, and be like, you can go stalk my boyfriend. I'll stalk yours. That way they won't know we're stalking them.
That's what I'm talking about. Like Son Amy, like just go all the way, man. With a username like Son Amy, I feel like you have a tendency to romanticize their relationship, and it's not healthy at all.
I think it's like, I actually really like that she's like less obsessed, but I definitely think that like there needs to be elements of that just to be like,
You need elements of those tendencies, just directed in other ways.
Yeah,
because she's just nuts. Like she will, like whoever she meets, she just like browbeats into like helping her find Sonic.
Yeah,
like strings them along.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Like in Sonic 06, she fucking like mogs Silver, and she's just like, "Oh wait, no, you're not my boyfriend. Anyway, help me find my boyfriend." And she just like leads him by the arm because he has no idea where he is.
Yeah,
and he's, like, a whole level later, he's just like, "What the fuck am I doing, following this girl around?"
The Sonic series is amazing. The dialogue, it's so good.
This is what I love is like all the cheesy dialogue and shit.
It's so stupid yet so I just love it.
Anyway, I think there's a lot of potential for this character. Just go all in on the stalker shit and get less lines about clothes.
Yeah, go talk to Susie, Ayano, and Marinette, and then you're good.
Less lines about clothes in the game and
more lines about being crazy. Yeah, okay.
And just make her canon design.
If you came,
fuck you.
No, the design's good.
Fuck you.
Okay, speaking of, I know I'm just going to reuse the joke that I posted, but, speaking of half measures.
Go for it. It was a good joke.
Here's Ruka, released immediately to offline. Don't do this.
What was up with that? Why did it release immediately to offline? I didn't know she existed until I saw you guys post about it on here.
He.
Yeah.
I think the authors are in a position where they don't really want to finish the character. However, I think it's like there is virtually a functional, complete character here.
What is this, from Steins Gate?
Yeah,
I think that's what the soul said. I think that's what the soul said, yeah.
But it's like, this is like a complete character. Like, I don't understand why you wouldn't just put this on testing and let it go. Like, someone would finish this for you. Like, I
think Walter made most of Ruka and then left, although he's been back a little bit recently. And then
didn't Stuart work on it a bit too?
I think. Who finished this and then put it?
I have no fucking idea. Yeah,
I think it was Stuart. Yeah, because I remember looking at the credits for him.
I mean, at least he was honest about like, I just don't feel like finishing this character, so I'm just gonna, gonna touch him up a bit and then just put him offline.
I think like the character is actually really beautiful. Like I think like this is and like the fact that like Chihiro is the only character like this in the game is like just I don't know. This isn't for me, but I think there's definitely a market for a character this that is not just Chihiro, and I think it's a mistake to have just like given up so early. Like I can respect it, like of just not like dragging your feet on something that you don't really want to do. I get it, but I really think that Ruka's fine. Like I'm surprised there's not more.
And the posing on Ruka was, I really like the posing, especially the expressions with the face. I think the expressions in the face was really good from what I saw with him and everything. I couldn't really tell dialogue-wise because he was also the other one I really couldn't get to. But the posing from looked at him looked really good. Like I was surprised to see that he wasn't on testing.
Yeah, I just, in general, I think Ruka's fine. Like I'm surprised there wasn't more work that went into it. Like I get it, but again, like I don't think you should release a character offline. I think you should find someone willing to carry it, most of the way to the finish line, if not across it, and then like let them handle it. Because this is like, I don't know. Like, I don't understand it. I don't think this makes sense from many angles. Yeah. Anyway.
So yeah, not too much to say because offline anyway, but the model's pretty cute. And the dialogue seems honestly pretty well realized.
Yeah.
By the way, this is like a boy in drag.
Yeah.
It's a boy that's being a shrine priestess.
Oh.
Which is kind of, I don't know, I feel like Miko should talk to him about being a female prince.
Solitaire, make it, finish it. finish what he started. It's just like, edit in that Darth Vader helmet from Force Awakens. So moving on from Ruka to Chell.
From another new creator.
Yeah, wow.
I love her.
Not just Chell, but Chell and Wheatley.
Amazing idea, because I remember posting
if
this.
If there's one thing that I think about when I'm masturbating and close to climax, it's Wheatley.
It's that moist cake.
It's that moist intelligence dampening sphere.
When I think
Wheatley and Onahole.
What?
Is Wheatley and Onahole?
No.
Oh. Okay. Anyway,
I'm really happy Chell got in. I said she was like, I remember way before here to help joined. I remember suggesting Chell and Wheatley for the table, so it's really cool to see it all get realized. And having Wheatley there, I think, is super fucking funny. And the dialogue, holy shit, it's spot on for Wheatley. Like, here to help really capture Wheatley's voice. I will say that, like, holy shit. And
so if you're not aware, we used to have a Chell, a completely silent Chell, and that was the entire joke. Now we have Chell, and it's basically, she's still silent, but it's Wheatley talks for her.
And it's one of my favorite fucking things right now.
So if you ever wanted the sultry, sweet serenade of Stephen Fry, stammering
amazing.
and awkwardly talking about completely non-sexual things while you're masturbating.
I love it. And the model is also really good. I think the model is made at Thursdays, right?
Yeah, Thursdays made the model. It's Thursdays is tradition. Like Thursdays, I don't think has ever made a bad model. To be honest, like wow.
Yeah, it's super good. Chell and Wheatley look really good. My only really big criticism, and I think it's being fixed anyways, the cube that Wheatley is on, I think could be made in a Kisake, but I think they already said they're making it in Kisake as is. So, but other than that, like I really got no complaints. Chell is like one of my favorites. I love her. I love her and Wheatley's dialogue so much. But that's really all I gotta say for her, honestly. I just love it all.
I'm gonna address the elephant in the room with the mouse over text thing. I think this is like I think it's a very clever
for the uninitiated. Wheatley talks so fucking much that his dialogue always goes behind her head.
Yeah, and so there was a custom CSS implemented by Adrien, the author, to essentially pull that forward in front of the character on mouse over. However, the mod team just sort of, essentially vetoed this and said, no, you can't do this. And the reason for this is very technical and very complex, but essentially it's this sort of thing can lead to the breakdown of performance on various devices, and it's hard to maintain because essentially anytime we do any update to the back end, which happens more than you really expect it to given how hard RC works on it, it might break and it could cause a lot of display issues. This isn't like no fun allowed, like this wasn't executed well, because it was. It's just for maintenance purposes, it sets a bad precedent for like what you're allowed, quote unquote, to do with dialogue, but also it can lead to some really negative performance and system unpredictability, which sounds a lot like bullshit, but I am not a coder. I kind of trust the people who do know this. Like I've talked to some people who are not on the mod team about this and that do UI UX design for a living, and they said that it's probably best not to enable that unless we could, for instance, support it on every character and that was the default behavior. But because it's not, it can lead to really, really weird things down the line. And I know I'm not.
You run a tighter ship compared to a couple years ago, don't you?
I think like the thing you're talking about, it's like Monica, right?
Yeah, remember when Monica showed up and everyone was just like floored? It was like, oh, OMG, look, she fucks with the game and does weird texture shit.
Shit was weird. I wasn't there for it, but I remember playing her. Shit was weird.
I think the difference is like with Monica is that essentially Monica was built at a time where there wasn't other stylistic adjustments. Like we didn't have small text, we didn't have like bold text. You could only really italicize things. And on top of that, like Viz came in with a bunch of like system improvements right off the bat. And I'm not saying like, oh, if Adrien come in and like unfucked our engine, you know, this would be allowed. Like that's not the implication, but it's just that first of all, the situation was different. It was different also because there were a bunch of back-end changes that Viz did sort of as like initial gestures that were really, really important for like the game. Like for instance, like the game used to be slow as shit. Like the toaster table was a thing. And like you basically couldn't play like Maya, Pit, and I think Marinette together because the game would just like
chug,
slow to a crawl.
Damn.
Yeah, it like crashed Hex's computer.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It used up like a gigabyte of RAM just on the internet.
Yeah.
Okay. Viz had like a 1 second fix to optimize this shit, but basically the way that Joseph Cantel originally coded it was every single time.
Joseph Cantel is the Yandev, like Yandere developer. Of
every
like,
single time a character had to say a line, right? It would open up
the entire file,
read the entire thing, and find the line.
That's really bad optimization.
Every single time you click the button,
it reloads the entire file,
which is fine when everyone has 200 lines, but not when they have 5,000.
1,005, yeah, like fucking Maya and Pit. Holy shit, I couldn't imagine. Oh my god.
So the situation's also a little different because, as this was explained to me, which I am probably going to butcher this, is that the CSS changes that Chell relies on live at the same layer as like the game's text and so forth. Whereas, and like the formatting of the game, whereas Monica's stuff overlays it. It doesn't actually change what's happening in the game. It just changes what happens over it. So it's a lot more consistent. And I think if you were to say do that for Chell, it's not quite the same thing because it's not like a deliberate UI. Like it's not an interface screw. It's just like a feature to work around a limitation, which again, like I think that kind of sucks, but it's basically preventing someone from coming in and doing like a CSS change that could, I don't know, put like text off screen deliberately or just, at some level, like no fun allowed, but it's done with the user in mind. So sorry, I know that sucks, but it's done with the best of intentions. And I also think that like Chell is really good, and I would like to see, I hope this doesn't break the character, basically. Anyway, that's my thoughts.
You really just need to like split the lines up.
I think that like sucks though, because like there's clearly so much love and effort that went into them that it's like I wish there was an easier fix. Mm-hmm. And I hope that we can find some sort of compromise that's not just like tough titties.
And it's just hard to split them all down because Wheatley just talks so much. He has so many long rambles, and it's
yeah.
Even with Wheatley rambles, you can still edit yourself down for the medium.
You could you're just gonna double your line count, like for the Wheatley lines. Just split them in half and move them.
Oh yeah, as opposed to all of Chell's lines.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's Chell, but let's talk about Sayori and WiiFit, and then let's try and wrap up in the next 20 or so minutes.
I didn't really get to say anything about Chell.
Well, see, she doesn't get to say anything about herself either, so I'm just, half the cast got to talk, twice as much. It's like, it's true to form. Anyway, yeah, go ahead.
I like her. Her art is very well done. She has a butt pose, although, I don't know. I'm not quite feeling it. I'm gonna go ahead and post it, since I feel like this is just every time my turn comes up to give feedback, it's just the butt corner. It's the butt of the joke. I don't know, it kind of works. I feel like, I don't know, the bottom lines of like her cheeks going straight to like the end of her hips doesn't quite work. Shoulder blades are a little bit too curved. I don't know. Overall, I like what it's doing though. I feel like she needs some shading on like the cheeks themselves. Solitaire, if you could just, censor the entire thing so they have no clue what the fuck I'm talking about. But overall, like I like her facial expressions. I think we got into a bit of a stylistic disagreement at one point, but I think she hits a nice medium where she's pretty expressive, but I think still like within like the fairly realistic sort of aesthetic that Portal and Half-Life have, where it still kind of like fits the medium of Kisuke and all that. So I think she's in a good place. Once again, I don't know what the deal is. I don't know how everyone's just forgotten about this, but she is also bone dry when she's masturbating. In addition, there's also a couple poses where it's a little hard to pose the fingers for this sometimes, but she seems to like be like fingering her urethra, which is just no bueno. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right?
Could you post a picture?
I'm gonna find it right now.
Yeah, I'm not exactly for
Poses
sure.
like this where she misses a little high.
Oh, okay.
It's not quite right. I'm sure I'm guilty of this at some point too because of the way Kisuke arms work.
Yeah, it sucks with masturbation poses.
Yeah, you can't quite get it at the right angle there, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's just what happens. So clean up a little bit on there, but otherwise she's very cute. She looks really nice. She's really expressive. I really like how there's like actual emotions for Wheatley too,
Yeah, it's a really nice detail.
Nice.
which is appropriate because like he in the game he emotes with that big ol' eye, his big ol' eyes, his special eyes.
He's not Legolas.
I do think it's a bit of a shame. I feel like Chell could have a few more poses showing like sexual interest, especially like before she has to forfeit, just because without that, all you have to latch onto sexually is Wheatley
I
and
mean,
his dialogue, and that's just not what he does. Like this is very much like a comedy character, which is fine. It's excellent. It's some of the best character writing in the game, I'd say. He's absolutely nailed it. But
I mean, you see some of the people that thirst over Wheatley online, so.
Is that a thing? Oh no. Oh no.
did you really have to ask that question?
I didn't want to. I just felt it was my duty to do so. Someone has to.
So yeah, I just feel like towards the end of the game, like it's funny, but it's not sexy. And I'm not sure how to change that other than just making it very clear that like Chell is into it, even if Wheatley is just like stammering and thinking of like calling humans weird. I mean she should be. I mean, this girl has been in captivity since like before puberty, so if anyone really needs some dick, it's her. Like, let this poor girl get her rocks off. You can make her dreams come true in an epilogue. Make that happen.
When Portal 2 released and people discovered Wheatley, so much human fan art like this was made, and my god, the thirst was real. That's all I want to say about that, but holy shit, it was bad.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is a thing that exists. Oh god.
Yeah. So many people online.
That's all I'm saying is that needs to be explored as, this Chell has she's never felt a man's touch.
Woman's doesn't really matter. We're all here to enjoy it.
And I just don't think Wheatley can provide that for
No.
her.
Feminine Wheatley. Speaking of Thursday's art,
Is there like an erotic core or something?
Probably a fan
Like a
fiction.
sex core?
There has to be fucking somewhere online. I'm not gonna look that up though. Fuck that.
Can that have like a guest appearance? just like have all the cores there. Have like the fact core and the space core.
Dude, bring the space coin. Bring the space coin. That'd be the perfect sex appeal right there, the space cool.
have you said your piece, SPNanon? You good now?
An electric charge danced along Chell's fragile frame as she felt her portal gun energizing.
So about Sayori and the WiiFit art updates, what do you guys think about those? I think the Sayori art update's great. I think it's just nice to see the Doki Doki characters getting some love.
Yeah.
I admit that I've let Natsuki fall behind because I have not been doing a whole lot lately, but I'm I'm excited to
Or
see that
you could
they.
say that Natsuki can't measure up.
I guess not. But anyway, so I think like I really hope Sayori of all the characters like in DDLC would get a a model update and also a dialogue update to go with it because she's really cute now, and I just think there's some dialogue to be done. I think the WiiFit model update's also really good. I'm looking forward to seeing more lines on WiiFit Trainer, but she's nice. She's really good job, Andrew. Way to come back strong.
Yeah, these are two really solid art reworks that I'm sure
For real.
Everyone is going to bitch about for existing. Because why try to improve anything ever?
If fucking 4chan exists, people want to bitch about it.
Just wallow in mediocrity. I will say I never really thought that Sayori particularly needed an art update, but the one she got looks plenty good.
Yeah, until you see it.
I'm pretty neutral on it.
Yeah, I like it.
I think it's pretty cute and everything. I think it's a good model for her. I like it better than her old model, honestly. I think it really doesn't a good update for it.
I don't know. It's kind of like a weird middle state now because not all of it used to be that all of the DDLC models were basically made by the same user called Robotnik.
So
Dr. Robotnik's mean DDLC machine. And now they all have a different style, so I can see that kind of bothering people. But
yeah, but that's no different.
WiiFit Trainer is generally looking pretty good. She's an improvement.
Yeah, I think with WiiFit also, I think she's got a damn good model update compared to the original. I like the brawl stage. I think that was a good touch, like that and everything, with the custom brawl and everything. I think it was really nice, and her face in general looks a lot better too.
I don't really have any other strong feelings. I just hope Sayori gets more lines soon. Just more lines in general. Okay, so
she has a very tall butt. Probably, as an advocate of tall butts, you should probably shrink that butt a little. That's not looking fit.
Butt minimization commence.
She's got to do some squats.
Minimize that ass.
That's an Arafuda looking ass right there.
All right, so that means we have the.
I think we're caught up on testing.
Yeah. We actually are caught. Holy!
Don't quote me on that.
I think we are too. If we miss something, I'm sure we'll find out in the comments.
Aside from the 10 fucking characters in the masquerade,
we're not counting those.
Oh my god, the Paris. Also, so the Paris rooftop background. This is great. I actually really like it when new backgrounds.
Love it.
I really, really like it when new backgrounds get added to the game. So these are always super exciting. I also think this is like a background that I should probably be targeting more with Marinette and Adrien. So I'm kind of like, I'll get to it.
Dude, Phonebox fucking made that, gift wrapped it to you for Marinette and Adrien.
I know. Phonebox is just like, I'm like, please stop. I can't. And then, yeah, anyway. So it's good. It's all good.
Honestly, the Paris Rooftops background is honestly probably one of my favorites right now. I love the way it looks and everything. I'll be playing on it a lot more.
Yeah, it's great. I think it's just fantastic. It's such a good background.
We don't get a whole lot of new backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
I think Underscore just submitted to like background submission testing, so we'll see what happens with that.
Oh, it's even got 2 pillows. I guess to imply that Adrien and Marinette literally just got done fucking.
Yeah, I think that's probably happened. I think it's actually a really good line if they both start at the table and be like, oh, well, hi everyone else. Oops.
Fancy meeting you here.
Oh, sorry, we were just kind of in the middle of something, so I wouldn't get too close to those pillows, if you know what I mean.
Might find some cat hair on them.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyway, yeah, there's not too much to say other than that it looks really good. I mean, maybe a little have like a little bit more dynamic with the lighting, have some shading on them, have some shadows on like the pillows and the objects and stuff. Looks a little flat, but like the background looks really nice.
Yeah, background's beautiful.
It's really pretty. There's a couple more coming from Underscore. I think he's submitted to Mod Mail, so those might be available soon.
I feel like that's something that, like, even if you don't want to make like a full character,
yeah,
like, there's no reason you can't make more backgrounds.
I agree. I think backgrounds are great.
I'd love to target backgrounds, which Orange Dress seems to really want people to do.
Yeah,
It's very low on my priorities list.
I think it's cool. I think it's like neat. It's like one of those things. It's like, oh, that's neat, but it's also, I don't know. I'm kind of like one of those people. It's like Final Destination, no items, Fox only. So I just kind of assume anything outside of like the norm, or if you do weird things, or just trying to provoke a reaction from the person. So,
I mean, it's neat, but it's neat.
It's fine. I guess like if you're into that, you'll really enjoy it, and if you're not, then you'll figure it out.
Then don't click it.
Anyway, speaking of hot French teenager sex, would you like to talk about Adrien's release to the main game?
I hate the way you introduce that. That's like,
I thought that was a pretty good transition.
I think it was a good transition. I just hate it. Yeah. So Adrien is in the live game. I know that he's a little lacking in targeted lines. I will definitely be getting back to that and adjusting it once I've had time to finish up Marinette. So the reason why I push for Adrien is just with Marinette.
Did you add those markers that he needed so that Maya's targets actually worked?
Probably not. No. If I'm being honest,
can you hook a brother up?
I can. I just forget a lot because I don't really think to add markers to things.
You're stuck in the past, man.
I can talk more about this, but I can't talk more about it on this cast. So let me get back to you on that. I think with Adrien, I released him to the main game just because I think he's ready and people can enjoy him for his generics. But really, until Marinette is, fully finished, and by that I mean, like, I do need to import her old lines and give them some love, which is going to be a non-zero process. They are organized. I just need to sit down and do it, and then figure out a way to import them onto her character. Because I had a long think about this, and it's basically if I brought Marinette back into the game, but there are characters that respond to her that she no longer responds to, I think that's a disservice to the players. And so for me, it's like I want to like at least retrofit those lines, get them back in order, and then I can probably take her for sponsorship. But then I think once those are done, it's going to be back into the fun part of developing again. But it's like so onerous to essentially look at 3,000 lines that you wrote, like as you watch. You can see me improve in real time as a writer, right? So I think that's nice, but it's also just like, oh my god, I don't want to do this. So if anyone wants to help me rewrite some lines, you are a better person than I am. Anyway, but Adrien's fun. I hope people enjoy him. I'm not abandoning him. I just need him and Marinette to get finished up. And honestly, I think the big kick in the ass is going to come from the next Miraculous season coming out. But anyway, what do you guys think? Do you guys enjoy Adrien? Do you think he's fine? What do you want?
I think he's a fun character to play against, a good twink to play against. But I think other than that,
well, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it.
He's fun. I do. I think he's really fun to play against. Like I think he did a really good fucking job with him. He's another good meld to add to the meld list.
I appreciate how you made a male character that actually seems to like engage with the game sexually. Like you weren't afraid to do that. Probably because he's just like a natural born sub, like make this kitty cat purr and all that shit.
So I think he's really fun to just like flirt with people and be like a little smooth, even if like I'm not.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the recent male characters just like don't want to flirt. It's like that's the whole game.
Yeah, I want him to flirt. I want him to flirt with like everything and anything. It has a pulse, Adrien will fuck it, is the sense that I want to give it to you guys. And even then, if they don't, like Saki and Sakura aren't safe. Adrien's a fuck machine.
He's a fuck boy.
So you need to watch the Ladybug series to even know.
I think Adrien, like the person, is a lot better of a person in the show, but I want him to just be horny as fuck. So that's what you get.
Plus, it is years later, so you know.
Yeah, he's like fine with it. I just like, yeah. Anyway, and he and Marinette are in an open relationship just because, like,
don't NTR
because he can't be contained.
Yeah, it's just don't NTR people, and also like I don't think that element exists in the game yet, so I wanted to take a crack at that. And also, if someone else had to write Adrien, I don't think like I would feel very uncomfortable writing Adrien with someone else that was not my wife. So I just I just had to do it myself. Napsu. Anyway, so that's Adrien. Glad you guys like him. Targeting Paris rooftop soon. Hermione.
Humuni.
So for our other main game release, Hermione almost.
What do you mean by almost? Did something happen?
She was
This is
she was
like-
fully sponsored, but then her writer Stuart kind of announced that he had lost motivation for the project. Unfortunately, I think we
Okay.
discussed Hermione last podcast, so she's been on testing for a while. You know, with the mouse art and all that. But it's just a real shame.
She's so good.
She's so fun. I love her. I love that Mouse's art's always good to see. I love it has that, and the masturbation stage is really, really fucking good.
She wasn't there yet, dialogue wise, but she was getting there, and it's a shame to see it fizzle out.
Yeah, it's just so. This is one of those that like breaks your heart. Sometimes you'll see a character fade into obscurity, and you're just like, that makes sense. But this one's just like, it's so close.
Mhm.
Please God, can someone be a hero and finish this character?
Please, yeah, just like saving
This
Grace.
does not deserve to be offline next to other Hermione.
Oh, that would kill me. I don't even like Harry Potter, but I love Hermione in this game.
I really do too. I think it's a really good version of her. I think like having Hermione and Akko talk to each other would be
Oh, that would be so good, yeah.
really funny. But anyway, so it was the world that never was.
Please God, public service announcement. Finish Hermione. Somebody.
Please, please, God. Like oh God, just someone. Okay. Anyway, so thanks for coming to the cast, Effie Freak. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, so.
Man, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you guys. Yeah, we'll be so for the next cast, we'll be jumping into the Masquerade, talking a little bit more about that. And hopefully, seeing some new things on test. So we'll get there when we get there.
Well, it was nice being here. Thank you again for all this, so.
Yeah, always good to have you, man. SPNatI, any
Thank you.
closing remarks?
Please make a little small talk here while I type for the bot to leave.
Oh yeah. So let me talk about markers on characters. I had a long discussion with the team that is working on a character in the Masquerade about this, and I have some differences of opinion with them. But fundamentally, where I come to on markers is like, I don't like the idea of gating dialogue behind markers unless it's like a conditional statement, because I think the alternative is you end up saying generic lines, which are like 90% of the time worse than the targeted line. Like, I would rather have like a mishmash, like a mashup of conversations that don't make 100% of sense, or someone says something out of turn, so people can see that rather than, a generic line, right? Because I don't know about you, but like if I like, so for instance, like Amy and Natsuki, right? Amy and Natsuki have like a lot of high priority dialogue to each other. And if you add in Yuri, like Yuri has context lines for if the three of them are at the same table. But if you play with like, I don't know, Natsuki and ideally someday Marinette, right? Like if Marinette and Adrien are at the same table and they don't have lines, especially to talk to Natsuki risks like never saying anything but generics at all unless she specifically has lines to target those situations, because of the level of complexity that can get like introduced in a given game. Like 4 characters, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it actually is for like maintaining the game state. And I just think it's better to say a wrong line that begs the question and like invites for the replay than saying nothing. And
I completely disagree.
I mean, that's what I think.
The advent of like saying marker has been like a godsend to make conversations coherent.
I mean, I think saying marker is fine, but I think like having it be like a burden of expectation is like, I want my chaos mode. I want people to just like say their lines that I put into the game. I don't need them to be perfect. Like, it's fine.
We've been suffering under that regime for years now, and to finally have like guaranteed coherent conversations, and if yours it doesn't play, then they say something else. Like, I don't know, just make good generic lines.
Yeah, but I don't want to. I just want to cover my mistakes with targeted lines. It worked for Marinette for a really long time, but
no, it never will. That's the dirty little secret of this game, is that the targets will not save you. They never will.
They do. They will. The targets can redeem.
No, they won't.
That's why you have filtered lines.
I'd rather have that, because like you could still like target
Yeah,
the character, and then like even if they don't respond, the player reads, okay, well they have targeted lines, so maybe next time that conversation plays.
It also makes like the development like process so much more arduous than it needs to be, because like you have to have this back and forth with the person of like, oh well, can you add a marker here, can you add a marker there, when it's like, I just don't want to do that fundamentally. I want to write like my like 50 targeted lines to your character at all their stages, and then just like let you choose to respond to them.
Oh, just
like
I don't know. I appreciate the organization.
I know. I think it's not
It's just
valuable
with 4 characters all like it's like a 5-lane pile up for the conversation, and it's impossible to follow.
I don't think I don't know about that.
If it's not regimented.
I just don't agree with that. Like I understand why you would. I just don't agree with it. I don't think it's the same thing. But anyway, that's how I feel about markers. It's just I don't think it's good practice.
You've been out of the game too long, the MASP. You don't.
I guess I have.
Not with the times.
I guess I have.
Yeah. I think silver markers are pretty cool. I think red is a little cool too, but I think silver markers are a little bit better than red markers.
I like the markers that you can huff. Like those are my favorite.
Ooh, those are good ones too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the kind that like
I like the Expo ones.
I like Sharpies because people put them in their butts, and that's kind of hot. But
Okay, Stoner.
All right.
Can we get a pose where Marinette shoves a marker up her butt?
Yeah, I'll get
Spot on.
I'll get right to the work. Right.
You're breaking up.
I understood that completely.
I'll get right to work on the Marinette butt Sharpie blog.
Just take a black Sharpie and make a polka dot right on her asshole.
Yeah, you gotta just I don't know, man.
Get Horse Cat to draw it.
Horse Cat, can you draw like a Sharpie and Marinette pooper?
Okay. Well, with that in mind, next cast will be the Masquerade, the rework Masquerade, the second annual, I guess, even though we skipped 2020.
It's fine. It's fine.
For the best. It's for the best.
It's got new teams, bigger teams. They seem to be a bit more organized this time. Lots of new characters. Old characters technically, but they're getting updates. They're getting fresh models. They're getting dialogue. Some better than others, but we will weigh in. Hopefully they will be a little bit further along when we do get to that, because it's going to take us fucking forever to organize this. Also, remember to please reply to the 2021 SPNatI general feedback poll, which I will be posting shortly after this, so it should be in the link.
Oh, it's best.
It should link should be in the description.
And be thoughtful. Be thoughtful about your responses to that. Like it's okay to shitpost. I'm not going to say don't shitpost. I shitpost a lot of the things.
I can't wait to see Cool Cat's video on it.
Share your wants and desires and your favorite characters and why you like them so much and what you'd like to see out of the game. So make it worthwhile.
Yeah, the biggest thing I can say is like offer praise to the characters that you really like. It's great to like be like, oh man, your character is like fucking garbage, suck a dick, dumb shit. But like,
just like suggestions for like content and improvements.
Compliments go a long way. Yeah, suggestions and compliments go really.
And then do some constructive criticism too. You think your character needs it. Like, don't be an asshole about it. Obviously.
I mean, I think that's fair, but I also think that like nice, like give feedback, but also nice things are important too. Just worth.
Yeah.
All right, so good cast, everybody. Thanks for coming on, FE Freak.
No problem. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming on as always, nmasp.
As always, good to see you guys. Have a good one.
You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Gatorade me, bitch.
Next question.
You really should. I mean,
no.
It'll be over quick.
Oh,
I
God.
suggest it. It's really good. It's really fun.
I played
The fan
Sonic.
base is the best part.
I played Sonic Adventure 2 on the GameCube, and I also played Shadow the Hedgehog. That's about the extent, and the second one killed my enthusiasm for playing for future Sonic games. And
Shadow the Hedgehog is a guilty pleasure of mine.
Same here. I think it's a really fun game.
I don't think
it's not fun and like where all the shit
Give up
is
on
that
it.
you
I
need
was
to
like, I'm
find.
done. So,
Oh, I loved it. I would do it again.
fuck.
I wasn't just doing that. I was like listening to podcasts and shit. It was just I'll do a run or whatever.
I'll
But any
take
games.
probably. I don't know. I don't care.